Good morning, SKN. I'm Andre Cunningham.
And I am Cortensia Carty, and welcome to episode 355. Yes, so we are getting there. Thank you for those of you watching us. For those of you watching us on TVC channel 40 on the cable, and Tel TV in St. Martin, and for those of you streaming via our streaming platforms, that is YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, welcome in. Good morning. Go tell your friends we're on and we're ready for you today.
Indeed.
Once again, thank you for joining us. All is well?
I don't think so. I'm in a little trouble this morning.
I wonder why.
You know, I always be testing you with riddles in the mornings.
Dun.
Someone challenged me this morning and I need help. And the riddle is, I go all around the world, but I never leave the corner.
You never leave the corner.
I need help.
The wind?
Let's see. I think it's the stamp. I go all around the world, but never leave the corner.
You don't need my help then. I didn't even think about the stamp.
I'm thinking it's the stamp.
Yeah, it's a stamp.
But let's see. Waiting on confirmation.
You got it all on your own.
Here's what's happening on the local scene. This one comes by way of press release from the office of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, will assume chairmanship of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, when the OECS Authority holds its 73rd meeting in St. Kitts and Nevis. The incoming chairman will be among speakers at the opening ceremony on Sunday, 18th of June, 2023, which begins at 5 p.m. at the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank Auditorium. Sunday's meeting will also serve to commemorate the 42nd anniversary of the sub-regional grouping, which came into effect on the 18th of June 1981. The 42nd anniversary of the OECS is celebrated in St. Kitts and Nevis from June 13th through to 19th, 2023, under the theme Vision, Integration, Sustainability. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis and incoming chairman of the OECS, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, following the opening ceremony, he and his OECS colleagues will discuss several issues, including regional integration, security, health, and renewable energy.
So congratulations to our Prime Minister. He's now, or will be, the chairman for the OECS. Big shoes to fill.
Of course.
A lot of work to do. But Prime Minister, kudos to you. Our second story comes from Win Media SKN. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Housing and Human Settlement, Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, said the government is committed to improving the housing infrastructure in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. During the 2023 budget debate in December 2022, Minister Hanley informed the public about the new housing initiative, which would ensure that 2,400 homes are built for the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. Concerns addressed during a housing fair held in May 2023 forced the government back to the drawing board to make some important adjustments. The Minister of Housing, during a sitting of the National Assembly on Monday, May 12th, shared the results of the negotiations. He said, in quote, "I was happy that we had that open fair, the housing fair, because it gave us an opportunity to be able to go back to the drawing board to present something that would blow the minds of our people when we are delivering the homes. We are delivering proper homes, I must say, Madam Deputy, with all of the negotiations, these larger homes will not attract any additional cost, none whatsoever," end quote. That's very good.
Good news indeed. Have you seen the homes? They're beautiful.
Well, I've seen pictures of them, and I'm happy that they would have listened to the public, and it shows that our input is important in their decision making.
I agree. And still on the local scene, this one from SKNIS. The Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS Commission, is leading a delegation to visit primary schools within the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis to share with students general information about the OECS, its work, vision, progress, sustainability, and integration movement. The OECS Commission is celebrating its 42nd anniversary under the theme Vision, Integration, Sustainability, Progress. The visit runs from June 13th through to 16th. Today, June 15th, they will visit the Sadler's Primary School, Joshua Obadiah Williams Primary School, and Keon Primary School. On their last day of visit, the delegation will visit the Tucker Clark Primary School, the Irishtown Primary School, and the Dean Glassford Primary School. Director General of the OECS Commission, Dr. Didacus Jules, in an interview at the St. Paul's Primary School said, and quote, "We are making schools visit all around the island of St. Kitts and Nevis to meet with students, particularly the lower grades, to get a sense of their understanding of the OECS and to explain what the OECS is all about," end quote.
I like this. You see, I say this all the time. I need to go back to school.
I know.
These kids have they have the best opportunities these days. Kids, children, take advantage of every opportunity that is shown your way. I know times are different, we are advancing, so things are a bit easier and opportunities are available for you. I still need to go back to school though.
We all do. Never too old.
I know, to enjoy all these benefits. Now for the weather forecast, it is partly cloudy with a high of 88 and a low of 79 degrees Fahrenheit. It is currently 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, a major 4 degrees away from today's high. Take a look at your weather and stay tuned for regional and international news up next.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom. No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. If you're just joining us, you are in time for a regional news. This comes from the Caribbean News Now. Dominica's Prime Minister has announced that his government wants to, and quote, advance the work at the island's international airport project. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt was quoted by Associated Times, and quote, significant work has been done. We discussed with the developers and contractors to advance the work to have a shorter period of time to complete the construction of the international airport. The discussions are being held and a strategy is being placed forward to advance the work, end quote. The 11-acre airport site at Wesley in Dominica has been recently cleared and leveled, and equipment has been moved directly to the area. Skerritt also expressed confidence in the contracting firm CR5 and disclosed that over 94 local Dominicans have been employed in the construction. This number does not include the local truckers for the airport project, he said.
I think the region is up for a major boost, you know.
Major, because everybody's getting their own international airport, so they're not depending on major hubs to get people to their destination, which is not a bad thing.
Indeed,
yes,
indeed.
We all need the growth.
Here's what's happening on the international scene. This one from the CNN. Exactly 1,000 years ago this month, construction started on a magnificent island building off the coast of France that, as it rose improbably from the choppy waters of the Atlantic Ocean, would become a lasting symbol of national fortitude. The medieval abbey atop Mount St. Michel, a cascade of walls and buttresses descending from a lofty central spiral, was a spectacular creation which has played crucial roles in French history over the centuries. As it makes a millennium since work began, it's one of the country's most popular tourist attractions outside of Paris, at times overwhelmed by its own popularity to such a degree that its custodians have urged people to stay away. The abbey, which lies off the coast of France's Normandy region, west of Paris, has pulled in legions of pilgrims all over the centuries. Today, it attracts 1.3 million tourists each year. French President Emmanuel Macron wrote on Twitter on June 5th following an official visit to the site, and quote, "In the span of 1,000 years, its silhouette has become an emblem of French universalism. Its abbey, the symbol of what we are, a people of builders," end quote.
That's a very brave build, I must say, in the middle of the ocean.
Fascinating. Well, there you have it. The local, regional, and international news. Stay with us. Much more on Good Morning SKN when we return.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
no cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Morning all, I'm David Brown, Chef David. Tune in to SKN 8 to 10 every morning at Studio 327.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Good morning, my name is Cartel Food, Chairman for Panorama.
Hi, and my name is MJ Byron, co-leader of EBJ Harmonic Steel Orchestra. And we just want to encourage everybody to tune in every morning from 8 to 10 a.m. Don't miss it. Right.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. World Elder Abuse Awareness Day was launched on June 15, 2006 by the International Network for the Prevention of Elder Abuse and the World Health Organization at the United Nations. Andrea Keynes, supervisor of the Home Care Officers, within the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Aging and Disabilities, is joining us to share some knowledge and awareness about elderly abuse and the ministry's work with their home care program. Good morning, Ms. Keynes, and welcome back to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning.
Happy you could join us this morning.
Indeed. A definition: what is elderly abuse?
Elderly abuse is ranged from different factors. We have financial abuse, we have physical abuse, we have neglect, we have verbal abuse. And right now in St. Kitts, it's not so much as the outer one, because we are trying our best to curve it somewhat.
Yes.
For instance, 2019, 2011 would have been the last thing we would have had a complaint to the police officer where it was really dealt with immediately.
Okay.
Thank God for good neighbors.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but persons tend to look at elderly abuse as nothing.
Yes.
Because let's say, for instance, an elderly person spill water.
Yeah.
You shout at them, that is abuse.
Yeah.
It's verbal abuse. They within themselves is trying to cope with life and their changes mentally.
Yes.
Yeah, so that in the whole is verbal abuse.
Wow.
The financial side of it is where they put in a home and then the children or the caregiver is fully in control of their finances. That alone, because if it's not given the rights to, they don't know exactly what's going on, they're concerned, they want to see paperwork, they're not getting access to that. That is financial abuse. Then you have the neglect, where they're left alone. Some are dependent on the home care officers to come in to assist them daily. And if we, the home care officers, not aware of these elderly persons left alone, that is neglect.
Wow.
Or some of them, they build these nice homes and then you find they're put away in a room in the back and nobody assisting them.
Wow.
So when we hear of an elderly person is left alone by themselves, we now go in, try to get in touch with the family, of course, get permission to go into the homes and see where we can assist them.
So how do you find out about these persons that are left alone in the
Thank God again for good neighbors.
Okay, good neighbors.
Yes.
Okay.
And church groups.
Okay.
You find this person might not attending church regularly who used to come.
Okay.
So the church groups would reach out to our ministry and say, I'm going to check on Mr. Peter.
Okay.
We haven't seen him for a while, and then we go.
Okay.
Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it is not.
Okay.
Because some families don't want us to go into their homes when they're not there.
Okay.
So we, the home care officers, still have challenges along the line.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
And Ms. Keynes, can you share some insight, the importance of this day, June 15, how important it is to recognize?
It is to let the world know that it is wrong to abuse senior citizens, the elderly as we would call it, and to neighbors. If you are aware of this is happening, please say something before it's too late.
I agree.
That is my key point here this morning. Say something before it's too late.
I agree.
What are some of the signs? You mentioned the types of abuse that the elderly endure.
Okay, from my experience when I was a home care officer, I'm still a home care officer supervisor. I remembered a few years back, I was visiting this lady, and when her husband was around, she was very afraid to speak. And I find it was a bit challenging for me because she was opening up to me. So what I did, I found out exactly the days when he would go to the supermarket. And I will go during that hour, 2 hours he's in, and I will sit down and I will talk with her. And the things that that lady did back then, because both of them has passed off now, open and told me as the home care officer, the bruises that was on her skin.
That's what's from her husband?
Yes. Okay. She became impotent, that she couldn't hold the urine, so she started using Pampers. And for him, he thought it was willfully done.
Wow.
So you find it in 4 in the morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you get up and check on her, and she wet, might have had on pieces, you drag her in the hall to the bathroom. So you find the hip, the knee, and the ankle, and the shoulder had on bruise. Yes, I did report it to my supervisor who was there, and we did something about it. So what I started doing is visiting her in the evenings, make sure she was bathed. I also reached out to the children who was overseas. I reached out to them and I told them, look, I'm gonna do extra visits. On the weekends, I will go and check on her, make sure everything was okay. And the abuse cut back a whole lot. Because then you find he didn't have to bathe her.
Or do as much.
Early in the morning and I would go late in the evening. So he didn't have that to deal with. But then the verbal abuse started coming in, where he was literally cussing that lady.
And that's your wife?
Not only the wife, but his wife and only wife for years. His children, her father's children, and you know, both of them has gone on to the other side, thank God. So, you know, the mental and the physical breakdown side of it, it's over. But there's still other abuse in the community where you find persons go to work and they leave their seniors up to the home care officers to come in, bathe them, make breakfast, tidy up their surroundings. And for instance, if you come at a point in time where we're unavailable to go, we're having an activity, and of course the officer is going to want to go to the activity. We let them know ahead. Tomorrow, Friday, we're not coming because we have this activity. We're traveling over to Nevis, for example. So I appreciate if you would assist your mom in terms of bathing and making sure she's okay. We check back Saturday morning and the lady
nothing's done. But do we realize, Ms. Keynes, that we are going to get there one day and that what goes around comes around twofold?
To be honest, as I sit here, some person don't look at life like that. Like for instance, there's this situation with this person. I have to be careful what I say here. There is 2 senior persons that this person is looking after. And one of the questions I tend to ask, as you were a child growing up, did you look into the future somewhat as they aged and they're going to get older and it's all going to be left on you because you're one person? No. So you find there are times when things happen in the home and the individual gets so angry that the verbal abuse, it comes out.
But do you think, if I may ask, do you think it's retaliation from when these children were young that they are now dealing or dishing out what they were?
Especially if it was a father who did not look after the children and know that they're senior and down in bed and depending on what life throws at them, and these children has to come on board and assist them. It gets very frustrating because for my 22 years as a home care officer in society, I've seen a lot. And sometimes you find is more than 5, 6, 7 children and there's only one on board assisting that senior. So it gets very, very frustrating.
And it can get overwhelming for that one person.
And then you find there's another set of children now who didn't expect their parents to reach into that kind of a down in bed, can't help themselves and dependent on them at a tender age, 60 plus, 70 plus. You hear it every day. I didn't expect my mom and my dad to reach this condition. I didn't expect
so they want them to go out whilst they can help themselves.
Wow. Ms. Keynes, what are some of the questions I in particular could ask an elderly person if I'm suspect that they're being abused?
Why you think this is happening? Do you think you did something wrong? Those are the two main questions you can ask them.
Wow.
Or they themselves say, I wonder where did I go wrong in life to cause this person to be treating me this way? And Ms. Keynes, what can I do to stop him or her from doing it?
Wow.
What did you put in place, especially with the financial side of it? What did you put in place? Growing up, talk to me, Mr. Paul. Were you a good parent to this child? Were you a good husband or wife to this person? Those are the questions you can ask, or I would ask.
Very well said.
What was your position in society? How did society look at you when you were, what kind of job did you do? How do you blend in with the neighbors? And those are the questions I would ask, and you can ask.
Awesome.
Is there counseling available for the parties that are involved in the abuse, say the elderly and the person that's abusing them?
I can sit here and I can say yes, because at the end of the day, that counseling group can be there. If we don't know about it, we can.
You can't offer the help.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But I know there are counseling groups, and if you don't want it, we can't force it on you. When it comes to the seniors, depending on the leverage of abuse that they're experiencing, they're not going to open up. I've seen it. Myself as a home care officer over the years, it took me a while to find the right questions, the right timing to go and visit these clients and have them open to me. And I can sit here and tell you, man, some of them gone to the grave, and some of the things they have told me, Father help me.
Wow.
Yes.
Speaking of the home care program, Ms. Kane, when was it launched?
If I can remember, it's about 23 years back.
23 years.
Yes, I have been for 23 years.
Wow. Congrats.
Thank you.
God, your longevity in this program as well.
Yes.
Match the 5th, May 22.
Yes.
Okay, so next Match the 5th, we have to ensure once we're around, say, happy 23rd to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of course. And the purpose of the program, what was the purpose?
To assist seniors out there, like I said, to assist them in their home, those who are left alone, in any area possible. We go in and we bathe them, we feed them, we cut the nails, comb the hair, accompany them to the doctor, to the bank, to the supermarket, give them a walk, to the therapist. Anywhere possible, we assist the seniors.
Okay. So you mentioned those are some of the roles, right? Is there anything that you forgot to mention that the home care officer does for persons who may be looking and thinking, okay, I can employ a home care officer to assist me. Let's hope they're doing the best for their parents or their sibling, if that's the case.
Well, there are some home care officers who go beyond call of duty where we spend overnight. We overnight with them.
Oh, that's sweet.
For me, I work Sunday to Sunday.
Wow, no rest.
Even though I am supervisor, I still, like for instance, this morning I left home 6 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
To be here in my right mind, comfortable.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yes, I had 2 seniors I had to bathe and make breakfast for before I came here this morning.
Nice.
So we go way beyond call of duty.
Okay.
To assist these seniors, and some of them are very thankful, very grateful, and I do appreciate the service so much that when it's time for us to go, they don't want,
you to go.
Can just imagine.
Well, on behalf of them, we appreciate you for doing that, Ms. Keynes. That's so sweet.
Ms. Kane, for those persons who are watching and are fascinated by some of the stuff that you just said and want to be a part of it, what are some of the qualifications that an individual need to become a home care officer?
Well, to be honest with you, presently, as I sit here, there's a course going on right now at the CFB College where I think they had exam yesterday and today, Thursday. There's another session coming up, I think it's in October, if I am not wrong, please. You can apply to the STEP office and also at the CFB College to get that much knowledge. But being a home care officer, you must be genuine.
Yes.
Don't
anybody can come on board and say, I want a job in that capacity of area of life. But then if it's not from the heart, it's going to be very challenging. I've met many challenges over the years where I was accused of stealing a lady paw and a bottle of coffee. I was accused. I might visit this lady and she said, oh, Miss Keynes, come, I was counting my money to buy me gas and she took it out of my hand.
Wow.
I was like, excuse me?
Wow.
But you know, I can call my back then supervisor, Miss Wigley, God bless her.
Oh,
Miss Wigley, I don't want nobody else coming here but Miss Gaines.
Look at that.
Yes.
Look at that.
There are many challenges you're going to face as you go along. Because, there's Alzheimer's, there's dementia.
Yes.
Neglect, you might not know, you might not see it until a long time came in for this person where you find they're just upset.
Right.
So, the mind it controls everything.
It sure does.
They're going to just take you, they might just have to take you for somebody and figure that there's a challenge to come in to hurt them and they put up the defenses.
Okay.
There's another director, one of the things she has really instilled in me is to walk away. Rather than stand and argue with the person. It's not me, I didn't do it, walk away.
Yeah.
You go and you come back a few hours after, you might meet them in a different state of mind.
Yes.
Miss Gaines, where you been all the time? I've been looking for you. You'll be surprised that person different to that mentality you met a couple of hours back.
Yes.
And I can sit here and tell you one of my greatest achievements I've achieved over the years. 2004, I had the chance to go to Belgium. I used to look after this lady, and I must say, God bless her children today. She's gone off now, but I went to Belgium. It was I had a lovely time there.
Wow.
I would encourage the home care officers who is listening, who is not here, the word spread out, continue to do a good job.
Yes.
And the blessing of the Lord will just shower you.
I agree. I agree.
In closing, Ms. Gaines, how can people contact your department for help and yourself? Because I'm sure after they would have seen how lovely and genuine you are when it comes to caring for the elderly, they may want to speak to you personally to garner what they can do and how you can assist them.
The ministry is Youth Empowerment, Aging and Disability. You can contact us. My PS is Jana Lewis. My name is Andrea Keynes. My number, if you want to speak to me directly, I can give up my number. Please, no harassment. 665-9260. I am willing to take your questions. No serious comments, please. Thank you.
And what advice do you have as we go for persons who may have to care for the elderly, and sometimes they feel, how should I say? Overwhelmed, yes. And they don't know what to do. They're at their wits' end.
Ask for help. Don't ever be afraid to ask for help. Don't try to do it all by yourself.
Yes.
Ask for help.
Right.
You ask for help, you can get it in so many different areas. You might be doing something wrong. The home care officers can come on board and show you, no, this is not the way to do it. This is how it's supposed to be done. And you look at it and like, had I known, it would be a little bit more easier. Especially when it comes to the bathing in bed, bedridden patients, even the changing of the pamper. Monday evening gone there, I had to go and assist a wife with her husband, who was discharged from the hospital, and the changing of the pamper, she had a difficulty in doing it.
Wow.
And I showed, and she was like, Miss Gaines, that's it? She said, just like that? I said, yes.
Just like that.
Nice.
Just like that.
Oh, and just like that, you can take care of your elders. And should you need help, you contact Ms. Gaines or the department.
Yes.
Please, let us treat our elders as kind as possible. Let's hope that one day we will get there, and when we do get there, we would like the exact treatment.
They deserve that much.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
GMSKN Nation, that was Miss Andrea Keynes. Stay tuned. We have so much more after this short break.
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
Hi everybody, my name is Erica Edwards. I am a singer-songwriter, and I want you guys to tune into Studio 3 to 7, Good Morning SKN.
I may say this is infamous music representing for Good Morning SKN, and I want to encourage you to watch the show every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Easy no man. Say me don't know about you, but me love Good Morning SKN bed. Easy.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
My name is Asan Green from Green Your Asan Refrigeration. Be sure to tune in to Studio 3 to 7 for Good Morning SKN from 8 to 10.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. For this edition of In the News, we'll be discussing an article published by CNN titled UPS and Teamsters Reach a Deal on Air Conditioning Delivery Vans, a key issue in contract talks. UPS.
Wow.
What's your thoughts on the UPS? I know they're a courier service.
They are. And as I said, most of the progress that they have had, I would have seen on various, I don't have TikTok, right? But they pop up on my YouTube feed and I have seen the complaints.
They've been having issues, yes.
For years.
For years, indeed.
And sometimes I wonder, how can we have people out there working and we know the US have changing seasons, and especially in the summer where their summer is not like our summer.
Exactly.
It's extremely hot and you just have people out there sweating. Sometimes you see the delivery man, they're coming out of the truck to deliver a package and you think that's the color of their uniform.
Wow.
But they're down wet of sweat until you look good, especially with the cream ones. And then you say, oh no, he's sweating.
I've seen
that
it.
Bad. Wow.
And according to the article, negotiations for UPS and the Teamsters Union have reached a tentative agreement on a crucial issue in their contract talks. The shipping giant has finally agreed to install air conditioning gradually in its entire fleet of 95,000 delivery vans. 95,000 delivery vans, and they weren't AC equipped. So how do they carry out their functions effectively? Wow.
And then you don't give us the tools that we need to do our job effectively, but then you want to know that your company is at the top. We are delivering expertise customer service, regardless of the issues that we had. We have, I should say.
I wonder.
It's ridiculous.
It is, and it begs the mind to think. I didn't want to go there, but the demography of persons employed to the UPS.
Oh,
yes, it's
the
very
brown folks.
Oh,
okay.
I think 95% of those employed to do those surveys have to be
the brown folks.
Yes,
yeah.
I think so. But finally, they're speaking up.
But no, they've been speaking up for years. Not finally. It baffles me that it took this courier giant that long to take care or pay attention to their employees' well-being.
Can you imagine 95,000 trucks?
Hot. Imagine one of your employees becoming affected by a heat stroke and that truck's just running all over the road, causing accidents. Maybe somebody might die in the process of it.
Exactly.
Lord, we hope that never happens.
Cost them more to fix instead of putting an AC
condition. Having an AC so that your employee can be comfortable. The only time the sun should bother your employee is when they come out of that truck. And as a matter of fact, now that you're giving them AC, I would implore you to give them a wider brim hat and a umbrella so when they come out in the sun, they are protected. And you know what? Add some sunscreen to that van. Since it takes that long,
protect them from not just the heat, but all elements of the weather.
And even a little cooler with some drinks.
Party.
I'm serious.
You have to go there.
Yes.
And the next pointer said, according to the article, temperatures have been known to exceed 120 degrees in the cargo areas of the trucks, according to the union. It says UPS has received numerous citations and hazard letters from the Occupational Safety and Health Administration for heat-related injuries of its members. So it has been going on.
Wow, this is crazy. Listen to this, Andre. The union hailed the long-sought agreement as a major tentative deal. It said the company agreed to equip all larger delivery vehicles and smaller Sprinter vans and all of the UPS most recognizable brown package vans purchased after January 1st, 2024 with in-cab air conditioning systems. So are they going to get rid of the old fleet and get new ones since they're purchasing new ones
There's a possibility.
early next year?
Based on the article, I would assume.
Imagine if somebody sent you chocolates, let's say from, oh my gosh, who has the most fancy chocolate?
The chocolate factory.
I meant from overseas. And then the UPS driver brings it. And as soon as you open that, is water.
Water or chocolate juice?
Well, whatever it is, because
chocolate
they don't.
Milkshake.
I know they don't have
the
necessary temperature control in the van to keep your stuff well.
The complaints, like some of the items that you would have ordered get damaged or wasted.
Wasted because of the storage temperatures in those vehicles. Why? Come on, UPS. You could have done so much better. Well, the article continues to say that there is apparently less immediate relief for drivers of vehicles already in operation. The current fleet will all get 2 fans per van after the contract is ratified. Okay.
2 fans.
2 fans, and fans blow hot heat. There's a meme that's going around right now with the fan blowing it.
Yes,
and fire's coming.
Listen, when you go to these events, you know, you have your little personal fan that you put to your face. I saw some of these memes and some of these TikTok videos with these UPS drivers having the fan blowing on them while they're driving. It's not only
wow,
but trust me, it's just sad to see the conditions
that
many of them have to work under. And this is the reason why it's making the news.
Wow.
It's definitely making the news.
Sad.
And listen to this other important points. The UPS trucks carry about 6% of the US gross domestic product. The broad measure of a nation's economic activity. It delivered an average of 18.7 million US packages a day in the first quarter of the year. So within 3 months, they delivered 18.7 million packages.
So that's enough money to ensure that these men and women are comfortable in your trucks, UPS.
Cruel.
Very.
Blatant cruelty. I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
Yeah. How could you? Imagine we are the bread and butter of your company. We are the assets you need. Unless you have a remote control that's going to drive those vans, we drive the vans. And this is how you treat us.
Well,
wow.
Soon and very soon, I hope.
They're going to see
the UPS driver, you won't be even seeing them anymore. They'll be all on the tilted windshield and wind up under the AC.
Let's hope. Come January 1st, 2024. So they just have a few more months to wait until then.
And
wow.
I mean, it hits home for me because I've known several of my Jamaican counterparts who would have migrated, and working at UPS would be one of their first jobs.
Okay. Nice.
Driving these trucks all over America. It's one of those jobs that easily you could get into, and so I'm just happy to finally see them speaking up for themselves. They deserve it.
Yeah, and this apparently was announced late Tuesday, Andre, by the union. The issue of air conditioning was a major bargaining goal for the union in the negotiations. The union urges that beyond the issue of comfort, the high temperatures in the van, as we mentioned concerning the heat strokes in the summer, poses a significant health threat to members.
There you go.
Exactly. Have somebody passing out and wow.
Take them this long. And you know, when those heat waves starts in America, it's something else. And I mean, we're used to it down here in the Caribbean, but
look at that. UPS has 330 Teamsters, and I guess those are the persons that drive the van.
Yep.
Wow.
Shocking and disturbing, but as I said, I'm happy they're finally speaking out.
Wow, that is good. Let me see. There's some more progress here. The article says additional progress. While the deal on the AC doesn't necessarily end the threat of a strike, because they're threatening to strike because their contract is up on July 31st. So UPS, take heed, do what's necessary to keep your 330 Teamsters on your team and to ensure they don't go anywhere else. So it is a sign that the two sides are making progress towards an overall agreement. The agreement does not require retrofitting the existing vans with air conditioning, but UPS said the installation of AC is not the only measure it is taking to deal with the safety of delivery drivers during times of high heat. Earlier this year, it announced it was adding one fan to each delivery vehicle. I think that should be two, so from either side of the vehicle, because although it's open, you know how it is, right?
Right.
Hot air will be passing through, so let's blow the hot air on both sides. They said, and quote, "We deeply care about people and their safety remains our top priority." In a statement late Tuesday after the tentative agreement was announced, heat safety is no exception. And UPS says this, right? So the tentative agreement on air conditioning, Okay, so the tentative agreement on air conditioning is not the only sign of progress. The union said it reached a tentative agreement on more than a dozen issues within subcommittees of the bargaining committee on Tuesday. So it's not only the heat, it's pay as well. Wow. It's
the rippling effect.
Wow.
But I mean, I'm happy they're finally speaking up. Yeah. And of course, their needs are just about to be met.
So I hope they get the pay that they deserve, because they do work hard, and some of them even take time out to play with the kids when they make their talk. Oh, that's so sweet. UPS Teamsters, you guys are excellent, and you should be taken care of. So I implore this courier giant, UPS, to treat people fairly.
Do the right thing, and shout out to some of those social media, pages that
influencers
that goes viral. Listen, some of them will knock you. Would have never believe those were some of the conditions they were. I tell you, I literally see a gentleman with his truck with about a dozen of those baby fans, and he just uses those tape, and tape up those fans in his truck just to be cool in the truck.
You see that? Imagine that.
And to tell you, they have over 95,000.
Trucks and 330 employees, Teamsters, drivers, because those don't include the persons that are inside. UPS, do right by your employees, please. Look out for their well-being.
Indeed. And that's what's happening in the news this morning. Stay with us. Good Morning SKN continues right after this.
exotic experience.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? Hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
Four savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Good morning, my name is Andrea Keynes. I'm the supervisor of the home care officers. Make sure to tune in to Good Morning SKN 8 to 10 at Studio 327.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Good morning, my name is Andrea Keynes. I'm the supervisor of the home care officers. Make sure to tune in to Good Morning SKN 8 to 10 at Studio 327.
Morning all, I'm David Brown, Chef David. Tune in to SKN 8 to 10 every morning at Studio 327.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. For many years, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, has been the proverbial bridge that connects the countries in the Eastern Caribbean. This organization, which is committed to regional integration, was launched on the 18th of June 1981. This means that this year, this remarkable organization is celebrating its 42nd anniversary. And who better to tell us all about this than the Director General himself? Allow us to warmly welcome Dr. Didicus Jules, the Director General of the OECS, to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, Dr. Jules, and welcome.
Good morning. Invited me. Happy
Oh,
you could join us this
pleasure.
morning.
Let's dive right into the conversation.
Sure.
I've heard of WISA. What is the OECS?
Well, the OECS is one of the most successful regional integration efforts not just within the Caribbean, but globally.
Okay.
I often liken us to a mini EU without a Brexit. And essentially, it is about the creation of an economic union among the protocol states, but it also involves deepening functional cooperation across the chain of the Eastern Caribbean islands. So the associate members form part of that, is, for example, Martinique, Guadeloupe, the British Overseas Territories, while because of their constitutional status, they cannot be as deeply involved in the integration movement, for example, sharing the common currency. The economic union involves the free movement of people, goods, services. They cannot participate fully in those things, but we can in fact deepen relations in many ways.
Okay.
The OECS, can you identify the member states of the OECS?
There are currently 11 member states of the OECS, but we are divided into full members as well as associate members. The associate members are the British Overseas Territories, Anguilla, BVI. Montserrat is a full member, although they are not an independent state. And we have Guadeloupe and Martinique. Soon to join. The decision was made since Hurricane Maria that Saint Martin, on the French side of Saint Martin, should become a member, but they asked for time out because of the need to recover and so on. So it is likely by November they will join the associate member states. And all of the independent Eastern Caribbean countries are full members. So we talk about Antigua and Barbuda. Well, as I said, Montserrat is part of that. Grenada, Dominica, and the Saints, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, and St. Kitts and Nevis.
This integration came about, if I am saying that correctly, in 1981, and that's before most of the Caribbean countries got their independence. Why do you think they came up with such an idea to develop such a prestigious organization?
Yeah, well, the origin of that goes way back, much further back to the time of the West Indies Federation, because you recall we had the West Indian Federation, and that fell apart. And Eric Williams' famous statement, 1 from 10 leaves 0.
Yes.
That led to Sir Arthur Lewis penning a document called The Agony of the Little Eight. And after the breakup of the Federation, there was this effort to determine what would be the ideal configuration of unity in the countries, because as small island states, when we were all part of the colonial British Empire, we were part of something larger and bigger. But the fear was that fragmentation into individual national countries, with Jamaica becoming independent, followed by Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, it meant then that the islands would be left sort of isolated. And Sir Arthur, being the brilliant economist that he was, actually in The Agony of the Little Eight, pointed to the advantages of pooling resources together and the economies of scale and clout that could be achieved by uniting. So that was Sir Arthur, in a sense, was the intellectual author of the OECS integration movement.
And Dr. Jules, what are some of the benefits afforded to the citizens of the member states?
Well, right now, as I said, the economic union, we are moving as quickly as we can to accelerate regional integration to ensure that all of the requirements to have the economic union fully in place are there. We've already closed the loop on some of the aspects of that, like the free movement of people. A national of any of the OECS protocol, any OECS member state can in fact move to any other island without any restrictions, even without a passport. All you need is a government issued picture ID to show who you were. Now, I think the efficacy of that was really tested when Hurricane Maria hit, because if you recall, Dominica was the most devastated of the islands. And in fact, our estimate is that somewhere between 15 and 20,000 Dominicans were forced to move out of Dominica. So they were, in a sense, climate refugees. And because of the circumstances that led to their departure, they had to go to live with friends, relatives in other islands because their homes were totally devastated. So too was their documentation. So I often joke that Dominicans were allowed into the other islands on the basis of the free movement, not even with a picture ID, but by identification by their accent.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Because it's a very distinctive accent, as we all have.
Do we have the same privileges, Dr. Jules, in the associate states?
No, well, we don't. There's a slight difference between the British and the French territories, because remember, the French associate states are technically part of France.
Okay.
So there's a degree of relative autonomy that is not enjoyed in those states. So, for example, when we have ministerial meetings, if we say, for example, ministers of environment or ministers of education, you would have full ministers from these territories, including the British overseas territories. They have their ministerial system. In the French system, we look for the equivalent of that, but it is technically not at a ministerial level. The representation is somebody from the collectivity or the territorial council who handles the portfolio in the territory would be the representative. But we treat all our members in those meetings on a more or less equal footing.
Are there any, since we speak on regional integration, because I hear that coming up a lot in our conversation, would there be any talks to offer the same benefits as the protocol states?
No, well, technically, to be a protocol state, you would have to adhere to the requirements of the protocol. So, for example, all the protocol states use the EC dollar as their currency. So monetary policy is set by the Monetary Council, which is the governing body for the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. And so one would have to adhere to those things in order to enjoy the benefits of full membership.
Okay.
But I must emphasize, though, when we have a meeting of the heads of government and matters are being discussed, all the heads, whether they are full or associate members, participate on an equal basis. If however, the matter has to come to a vote, then only the protocol member states can exercise that vote. Since my tenure there, I've never had the experience of us having to call a vote on a matter, because the heads move with a high degree of consensus.
I love that. I love that.
Indeed. And Dr. Jules, it is also important to differentiate between CARICOM member states and OECS member states. Those members belonging to CARICOM, can they benefit also by being a part of the OECS member states?
Well, let's put it this way. Practically all of the member states of the OECS are also members of CARICOM.
Part of CARICOM.
Now, for example, Martinique and Guadeloupe, so the British overseas territories are also part of CARICOM in an associate way as well. But Martinique and Guadeloupe are now seeking to get membership in CARICOM. There is not a distinction between them, because in many respects, remember when CARICOM was established, there was this notion of MDCs, so-called more developed territories, and LDCs. And the OECS countries were designated as LDCs.
Wow.
So there were certain protections given in the Treaty of Chagaramas that protected the LDCs. Now, these things remain in place, because the thinking was, I mean, at the time, remember, Jamaica had bauxite, Guyana had gold, and there were all of there. So there were this, Trinidad had oil. So they felt that there was definitely a very clear distinction between the so-called MDCs and the so-called LDCs, and special provisions had to be made to protect trade and so on with the LDCs. Since then, however, things have changed, and in some respects, countries like St. Kitts and Nevis, I was saying to your Prime Minister, St. Kitts and Nevis is actually the smallest independent state in the entire Western Hemisphere. But you are classified as a relatively higher income country, which cuts you out from receiving certain concessionary financing and so on.
Wow.
So the argument has been in CARICOM that does the MDC, LDC thing still hold if the per capita income of a place like St. Kitts and Nevis is much higher than, say, Jamaica or Trinidad and Tobago, maybe. So there has to be some accommodation made. And since COVID and all of the disasters with the climate change and all the climatic changes we've experienced, the thinking there is that we have to move away from that classification, that way of classifying countries, and instead look at vulnerabilities and the issue of resilience.
Yes.
and let that be the judge of how viable a country is. Now, put in that context, as small states, you would see our disadvantage.
Okay. GMSK Nation will take a short break, but when we come back, we will be talking to Dr. Jules about the length of time he has been acting as a Director General and so much more. You don't want to miss it, so stay tuned.
My name is Asan Green from Green Your Asan Refrigeration. Be sure to tune in to Studio 3 to 7 for Good Morning SKN from 8 to 10.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moment Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
I'm going to say this is infamous music representing for Good Morning SKN, and I want to encourage you to watch the show every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Easy, no man. Say me don't know about you, but me love Good Morning SKN bed. Easy.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, and we are speaking with Dr. Didicus Jules, the Director General of the OECS. Dr. Jules, the theme, Vision, Integration, Sustainability, Progress. How relevant is the theme today?
I would say very timely and deeply relevant because we are very clear in our minds, and all of that again is totally aligned to the revised Treaty of Basel, that regional integration is the key to success for these small states. We live in a world today where power matters, and as I often say, technically we have no friends. On the international scene, there are no friends but interests. And we have to bear that in mind because we have to understand that states in the global environment are motivated by their self-interest, and it therefore behoves us to be very clear about what are our interests and how do we find the synergy of interests as small states, as an OECS, to exercise some voice and presence on the international stage and represent ourselves and our interests. The power of that is often seen by us in the Commission whenever there are significant votes happening, whether you're talking about the Expo happening in the Middle East or votes for positions on the UN Security Council or other international bodies. People come to the OECS to secure their votes.
Wow.
Just as they also go to CARICOM to get their votes.
Right.
But they know that coming to the OECS is a fairly solid block of at least 6 votes, and that matters.
I'm gonna go. I have to ask this. With what you just said, it seems like we're being used. Am I correct to assume?
No, I wouldn't say we're being used. I just think we're being wooed. But we need to know what is our best interest.
Okay. Okay.
And determine what do we get out of these arrangements.
Understood. So let's talk about the length of time, Dr. Jules, that you've been acting as a Director General.
Well, I'm in my 9th year.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What tell us, what are some of the things that you are working towards?
Well, in the past, the OECS Commission planned on an annual basis. So we did an annual work plan and budget that was submitted for the approval of heads. As of 2 years ago, we decided to do triennium planning. So we planned for 3 years in a row.
Okay.
And beyond that now, we are looking at a 6-year period, so 2 trienniums. And we've set certain strategic priorities for these trienniums. The first, the most important of which is deepening regional integration and then building resilience, are part of that strategic mix. So by establishing these priorities, we ensure that we pretty much touch on the most essential things that need to be done during that period. And because it is spread over a triennium, it is fully aligned to a long view of the road ahead for regional integration.
So what are some of the things that are planned for the next 3 years?
Well, for one, we have tightened up on the structures of governance in the OECS. Okay. The treaty talks about an authority, which is the heads of government. There's the Economic Affairs Council, and it speaks to a council of ministers. Now, we have interpreted that very liberally because a council of ministers could be be a very amorphous thing. But the idea is that we began constituting councils of ministers as the need arose. So, for example, we've had for years a council of education ministers who meet sometimes 2 or 3 times a year. Okay. And actually, even before COVID, we were using Zoom as a means of online meetings. And we found that it was a huge savings in costs. We could have meetings at very short notice. We could come to the same decision. So it was a much more efficient and cost-effective way of meeting. Nevertheless, face-to-face matters. So at least twice a year, we have meetings of those councils. So we've been establishing deeper and deeper links. So we have ministers of education, agriculture, tourism, environment, health. We are looking at convening a meeting of ministers of youth in the near future. We're talking about we started going down to lower levels in the public service, so beyond just the ministerial. So if you look at education, for example, we have ministers of education. Below that are meetings, technical meetings and groupings, permanent secretaries, chief education officers, education planners, education statisticians. Now that helps because what it does is it broadens the scope of regional integration beyond just the political level to include the technical level, and people getting to work with their counterparts. Through those mechanisms, we've had exchanges of officials. So, for example, somebody who has real expertise, let's say St. Kitts has somebody who's very good in curriculum reform at an early childhood level. That person may be the lead person in the working group for the reform and transformation of early childhood in the region. It may also involve a secondment of that person for a period of time, 2 months, a year, whatever, to another country to assist them in their process. So that kind of contact, it means at every level we establish in the integration links and people get to know their counterparts, to liaise with them. Importantly too, I would say in the last 6 years, we started setting up WhatsApp groups. So I have a WhatsApp group on my cell, which includes the governor of the central bank, myself, and all the heads of government of the OECS. Okay. Then we have WhatsApp groups for the ministers of it, the ministry, all the ministerials, all the technical working groups. We've amended our rules of procedure that a decision can be made via WhatsApp. Okay. So if there's a very urgent matter, I can put up a 2-3 page document detailing what the problem is and what we're asking for on the heads of government WhatsApp group, and within 24 hours or so, we get a decision.
Wow. Oh, nice. I like those.
Yes. So it does help with agility and that's something for me, it's a watchword, right? Yes. Agility and accountability. Okay. I think as a regional organization, we have a serious responsibility to to be agile in our response to member states, and that requires a level of flexibility and speed of operation. And we also need to be held accountable for what we do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Indeed,
certainly,
accountability.
certainly. And Dr. Jules, this year we'll be celebrating 42 years
Yeah,
of
congrats.
the OECS, indeed. As Director General, what does this celebration mean for you? How far we've become?
42 years is a reasonable period, but in the chronology of nations, it's a short time. I often measure success not so much by the road that has been traveled, but whether you are where you ought to have been in the circumstances in which you find yourself. So while we are thankful for the road traveled so far, we need to also recognize that there's much more that needs to be done, and also that the circumstances are rapidly changing. The times we live in now, with what's happening on the at a geopolitical level, at a climatic level, at an economic level, requires that we become much more nimble and agile in our response to those circumstances. It also requires that we think differently about the problems. One of the things that has been a mantra for me at the OECS is to say to staff that we need to stop seeing problems and look for opportunities. Because if you think about it, any problem, if you deeply analyze a problem and you look not just to put a plaster on the sore, but to solve the problem ultimately in a way that it would not recur, you will find a solution or an opportunity that will take you somewhere further had that problem not occurred in the first place. So it's a mindset thing. Some people see a problem and they're so absorbed by the problem. How do we solve the problem? Yes, we need to solve the problem. But does that problem represent an opportunity for transformation rather than just change or correction?
I like that. I see that you have the activities that will be happening throughout the week. Is there any particular one that...
Yeah, well, let me say first of all, it's highly significant that we're here in St. Kitts and Nevis at this time. Because as you know, the 18th of June is a date of formation, both of the signing of the Treaty of Basel as well as the revised Treaty of Basel. And here we are again in Basel at a time when the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis is taking on the chair. And thankfully, I believe the only living legend of the OECS is still here with us in St. Kitts, Nevis, Sir Kennedy Simmons. So we have to pay special tribute to him at this time. And it's a huge opportunity for us. We've had meetings with Prime Minister Drew. He himself has already established, and that is very impressive, 3 or 4 critical priorities for the year term that he has as chairman. And these are well aligned to the strategic priorities that I spoke about earlier. So he will be speaking about, I won't steal his thunder, he will be speaking about that at the opening. There are a number of activities we have. We've been here since Monday. And we've been doing what we call OECS in the classroom. These are school tours, talking at the primary school level, talking especially to grades 5 and 6 about the OECS integration effort. And it's been really quite stimulating for us because the young people of the students at that level seem to be reasonably well informed about the OECS and CARICOM, although there's sometimes what we detect is a sort of lack of understanding of the distinction between OECS and CARICOM. But that's understandable at that age. But more importantly, our whole purpose in that is to ensure that the idea of OECS gets embedded in the education system. We've developed an online workbook on OECS integration. We intend to print copies and to get that out to the schools. They have the PDF versions that they can also print. And we are working on a whole, what we call a digital learning ecosystem, so that online you would have all the resources needed at all levels of education, including for professional development. We are about to sign an agreement with Coursera that would give us access. Right now, there are 50,000 people in the OECS who are registered on Coursera doing different courses. But the agreement the partnership we're going into would make it a society-wide agreement that we can have literally anyone in the OECS who wants to do courses, whether degree level courses or short professional courses or skills training courses online.
I like that.
Awesome. And speaking of the celebration, personally, how can the general public join in on the celebration?
Well, I think it is we have Colors Day on the 16th of June.
That's tomorrow.
Yes, that's tomorrow. So we're calling on workplaces, people to wear the OECS colors.
Okay.
And be as creative as you want with that coloring of the place.
Looking forward to the picture.
Yeah, paint the place OECS.
Okay.
On the 17th, we have a fun walk, which I understand is going to be a 4-mile walk. Okay. So we, again, and I understand St. Kitts is a place where these health walks get huge subscribe to.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to that. I did suggest something that I've wanted to do for many years now with these marathons that we do sometimes, especially in relation to the blind. I would like to see us do a walk in solidarity with the blind. Let's say it's a 2K walk.
Okay.
People walk in pairs.
Yes.
With one person blindfolded for half of the walk and switch the blindfold for the other half. So it'd be like walking 1K in my eyes. Okay. And I think that would give you a really experiential sense.
Serious experience. Dr. Jules.
So, while there are these activities that we traditionally do, but again, it comes to the point about thinking differently. How do we make these experiences mean more and feel more to people so that they get a better sense of the cause that it represents?
Very well
Indeed. I recently did one of those, Dr. Jules, and let me tell you, I'm grateful for my site, and I admonish persons to take care of their site because I had a guide, but it was tough navigating. I almost walked into a car. I was too close to the wall. The sidewalks was rough when I was using the cane. So I definitely understand. So that's a great initiative, and I hope that it does come into fruition for our next walk.
Yeah,
of course.
What words would you like to leave with the citizens of the OECS member states as we close?
Make use of it. Ownership. The OECS belongs to you. One of the things that the metaphors we use in explaining integration to the kids, we were in Nevis yesterday, and we asked them, have you ever traveled to St. Kitts? And practically everyone has done so. We said, did you need a passport to go to St. Kitts? No. Did you need a driver's license? No. Did you need to show how much money you had in your wallet? No. Can you go get a job in St. Kitts? Do you need a work permit? No. So that ultimately is what the OECS should be. The same ease of movement between St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Kitts and Nevis is what should obtain across. And the ability to set up businesses, to conduct business across the area, free movement of goods, services, finance, whatever. Right? Really operate as one country, although with several governments.
Yes. Well, I would say congratulations again on the 42nd anniversary of the OECS, and I would like to hope that this is not our last conversation, but the start of many.
Yes. In fact, we do have a network of the GISs in the OECS.
Okay.
So the idea is increasingly would like us to be sharing news on each other, and the news broadcasts in each country should also show news from all of the other OECS territories. So we're looking to deepen the media links as well.
Nice, I like that.
Wonderful.
I like that. There's one thing before we go though. I see there's going to be a young lady tonight on your discussion. How important is it to include the youth in the decisions that the OECS make?
Oh, well, we need a whole show to discuss that because we have a program called the Youth. Yes, the title actually was developed by the young people themselves. It stands for Youth Empowered Society or Youth Engaged Strategy.
Okay.
For the last couple of years, we've been working on this, testing the idea. I used to be a consultant for the Commonwealth Secretariat in youth policy, and we were trained in that. However, when you look at the way youth policy is developed globally, it's usually older people, so-called experts, designing a youth policy. True, they talk to young people and so on. But we felt that really in this period of history in which we are, young people need to take responsibility for themselves. So the approach we took with the youth is to engage young people in, first of all, looking at the reports done on the condition of youth, and we identified 7 pillars that could make a difference in the life of young people, and then let them take these pillars and define them in ways that suit them. So in other words, tell us not what you want governments to do or give you, but what are your aspirations, and how then can governments support these aspirations? which is a fundamentally different approach. And so they've been working on that. And in fact, we have a lot of ideas that will be coming in a structured form to the heads of government for approval, done by the young people themselves. We have a youth advisory network of young people, 2 or 3 young people from each of the OECS member states, and they've been assiduously working on that.
Yes, so that's good. GMSKN Nation, that was Dr. Didicus Jules, the Director General of the OECS. Stay tuned, so much more after this short break. Dr. Jules, thank you so much.
Yo, you know it's me, Mr. H.E. Yo, make sure you tune in to Good Morning SKN, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Studio 327. Yo, trust me, the baddest show in the morning. Make sure you check it out. Wake up, make sure that you are there from 8 to 10, Monday to Friday. Boom, check it. Rah.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Oh, come here!
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
Good morning, SKN. This is Lyrical. I just want to say blessings to you. There are a happy place in the life if you live in there. A happy place in the life if you live in there. Cause them at a happy place in the life. And they can't change. And they just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, they will never ever change. Blessings, blessings, and blessings.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Yo, this is your boy Smiley of the Grandmasters Band, and you're watching GMSKN. Hey, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just make sure you're watching GMSKN. What up?
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. In recent years, the term self-care has become a buzzword. According to Oxford Languages, this term is defined as the process of taking action to preserve or improve one's health. Self-care covers behaviors established to ensure the holistic well-being of oneself, to promote health and actively manage illness when it occurred. For this segment of Release, Relax, and Relate, we will be speaking with a self-care connoisseur in her own right. She is the owner of the Pure Niceness by Winiel. She is none other than Winiel Pereira. Winiel, welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Thank you so much. Our pleasure. We had an ambassador and now we have the guru.
The guru.
Yes. Happy to be here.
Of course. Speaking of self-care, Winiel, what's the significance of self-care to you?
Well, to me, self-care is keyword vital. And I like to look at it like this. We have a glass of water and we're pouring and we're pouring and we're sharing. And every time we pour and share, it gets lighter.
Yes.
And that's a reflection of how we're feeling. And each time it gets lighter. But what are we doing to pour back into ourselves so that we can continue to pour into others? And so it is super vital for wellness, both mental, physical, and spiritual, to get into those practices, whatever they may look like for you, to pour back into yourself so that you can continue to pour into others and be well. Because when we are well, then we're exuding that positive, that high frequency that is necessary.
Very well said.
She made the term pouring from an empty glass significant this morning. You cannot pour into others from an empty glass.
Correct.
Wow. So you have to fill up. So tell us some ways in which you prioritize self-care, because it's all about you.
Plenty ways. So some of the ways would be grounding. So I walk barefoot on Mother Nature because what happens is it helps to draw out toxins and inflammation from the body. If you find that you're feeling a little bit woozy or a little bit light or not feeling well, plant your feet on the ground and you can breathe, right? And you'll feel better. It always works for me. Another thing I do is I meditate. So I take a moment to be in silence, to tune into self and breathe, because that's life, breathing. And that also helps us to release toxins and to fill up with energy. I try to eat well. I love chocolate. I love chocolate. So we all will have things that we love that might not be the best for us. And it's not always the best chocolate I get. But I try to eat well because our food is what nourishes us. So when you think about self-care, think about things that will nourish you, right? So walking barefoot, going to the beach, taking some sunlight, which is very important. We get our vitamins. So you get vitamins from the sun, you get your vitamin C from the ocean, your food. and that quiet time. I think that is so vital. We're always on the go, go, helping this person, helping that person. We have to take time to settle in, to focus on the energy, because what we put in, again, is what we're going to give out. Yeah, and that's some of the ways.
Love it.
Oh, and yoga too. Absolutely. I stretch every day. I did that today. It helps with calm. Now, yoga is union. That's what it really means. Union of the mind, the body, the spirit. It's another form of being well. And that to me is self-reliance. Like we can really rely on ourselves to heal in the practices that we take part in. And so that's one of the things that I do as well. I love yoga.
Meditate standing up. What if
Absolutely. Listen, I walk and I meditate. For me, I'm a walking meditation woman. So absolutely, once you're taking time to tune into self, make sure that you're breathing. That's meditation right there. You can walk and meditate, lie down and meditate, sit down and meditate.
I know. Speaking of self-care, Renelle, how important it is for one to be inclined with nature.
We are nature. So it's a oneness. So it is, again, the word vital that we connect with nature because she nourishes us. Wow. The sun, the moon, everything is energy. Everything is energetical. Everything around us exudes energy. And so we can fill back ourselves by connecting with nature. It's very important. We're wearing shoes every day. And so every day we're disconnecting ourselves from Mother Earth. Yeah. So it's very important to take that time to plant ourselves back into the earth so that she can nourish us. We use her food, what she grows, what she nourishes, for ourselves. And so it is vital. That's part of wellness, is connecting with nature, connecting with ourselves. And to me, we are one.
So is this what led you to creating this pure niceness?
So many things. For me, it's never ever one thing that leads me to something. My love for nature, my love for people. And I had an incident medically with my sons that really threw me off emotionally. They were going through a lot. And all the medications in the pharmacy that were prescribed were making my sons ill. And so I had to find a way, and it was so simple. It's okay. We go through these things to strengthen us and to give us a new focus. And so that incident, which I won't go too deep in, made me connect even deeper to Mother Nature to help my sons to heal. And I did that. And so that was the stepping stone to be like, okay, Winiel, this is something that you should do for others. And so then I started to work in a natural store that sold natural products. I got a massive book that was teaching me about Mother Nature and, the different, how she responds to our body based on what we take. And then I started to sell someone else's line because I needed to make sure that people understood and felt what this was about. And then I created my own, which is pure niceness.
How easy or how challenging was it in creating or to create your own?
Easy for me. Ancestral wisdom. A lot of times we just naturally are able to do things without being able to say, well, how did you get to do this? It's just something that is within us. And for me, I embrace that. This love, this knack for creating, this knack for working with nature was ancestral wisdom. Yeah. And so my formulas, I came up with them myself. I don't like to follow. I like to create things on my own. So I didn't go and research, well, what is she doing? I don't like to do that. I don't want to see it. So I sit with myself in quiet time and I came up with my formulas. These are also aromatherapy. So the aromas, will relax you. Will revive you. They have that benefit of not just absorbing and helping to heal, but also with the sense of smell. That is also part of healing too. Yes.
Wow. And Winiel, your tagline, small batteries, results-driven self-care. Where did that line come from?
Okay, so for me, small batches is I'm going to take my time, I'm going to pour lots of energy into it, and I'm not going to create a lot that is going to drain me, because then it will reflect in the product. So I'm not about mass production. I'm about keeping the numbers small in my creation, getting those things sold, and then going back at it again. Because I also want people to have fresh products. I don't want products that are sitting on shelves for months and years.
Yes.
That to me is no good for pure niceness. So, and you see the word pure niceness.
So that's nature and something mixed together?
Absolutely. Everything in here is nature. I use
the name.
Yes.
How did you come up with the name?
Okay, so the name. That's another thing that it just came to me. Okay. And I've been sitting with this name for years. When I had my fashion show style weekend, that's when the name came to me. And I started to say it a lot. Pure niceness, right? I would go on interviews and they would say it. And then eventually I was like, I'm going to use this for my brand. And this was years after. Yeah. So I just kind of, things flow and align when you're in tune with spirit.
And it's very catchy, pure nice.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You said you are not accustomed to making big batches. How quickly do you run out, and how does your clientele feel having to wait?
So it all depends, because different times of the years things might be slow and things might be fast, because when people, let's say they get this bottle, this might last them 2 months. So I know when people have this bottle, within 2 months, they're going to need to get another. So over the years, I've learned that during this period, things will be a bit slow, so I don't need to make so much. And during this period, it will be fast. There are some times, because my soaps take 4 weeks to cure, sometimes 6 weeks. Some people do it 2, but I am all about the length of time to cure, so that it becomes even better. Because the longer you have a soap, the more powerful it is. Yes. So if you get a soap and you have it for a year, you'll have the best soap ever.
Wow.
And a lot of people do that. A lot of people actually just sit with the soap. And then they're like, okay, I'm going to use it now. So because they take so long and it's very expensive to produce, it's also very energy exhausting. I'm absolutely tired when I am done with it, because I work with energy. Okay, so I'm crafting and I have intentions, I have rituals, because like I said, everything is energy. So what I put in, made with love, is exactly what you're getting.
So share with us some of the products you have on display this morning.
Smelling yours.
Yes. Okay, Audrey. So this is my oil blends. I have 2 oil blends. This was my first creation. It's the coconut lemongrass oil.
Are you
yes,
that?
Absolutely.
Yo, it smells good. It smells good. Yes.
And mind you, we have not sprayed it as yet. Just the presence.
Yeah. Thank you
so much.
Thank you. And with both my blends, there's additional ingredients, but that's what I decided to call it: coconut lemongrass oil. Okay, everything is for hair and skin, so you can put it in your beard, your hair, everywhere, head to toe. All right, I'll talk about the benefits after. This is my moringa peppermint oil, and moringa is life. Okay, what a powerful plant.
It sure is.
Yeah, and it has this minty, relaxing, earthy aroma, which you guys will smell soon.
Andre soon, not now.
Yes. And then these are my soap bars. So I use oils, I use herbs, I use fruits, I use mango, I use pineapple, I use moringa, lemongrass, charcoal, you name it. The list is long. And so I decide what ingredients am I going to create for each blend. So this is moringa peppermint, right? So smell it.
So we can bathe with that, and then we can
absolutely. Also, this is basil and charcoal. This is my detox soap. So you can wash your hair with them. You can wash your face with them.
Right. So
head to toe.
It smells good.
It
head
sure
to
does.
toe. No fragrance. I only deal with essential oils and the actual fruits and herbs. And the base of my soaps is virgin olive oil and cold pressed coconut oil. Top oils.
Yo, the soaps have a fragrance. She does not add fragrance.
No fragrance.
Has a delectable.
Thank you.
I have to keep these away from kids because they're gonna feel like they can eat it.
I get that a lot. Winnie, I want to eat this soap.
Right. So Winnie, tell us, what's the procedure in using? Do I use the soap in my hair and then I use the oil after? Tell us about the procedure.
Okay, so your daily self-care is always cleanse and moisturize. And a little trick is always moisturize on wet skin. 2 reasons. You use less because it gets to spread more because of the water, and the water is also moisturizing. So mixing the two gives you added hydration. And it also helps with the oils actually help with hair growth and help with things like breakouts and psoriasis, and there's so many benefits.
Speaking about the benefits of your product,
yes,
I've seen many a persons talk how you help them with their skin.
Yes, it's been overwhelming in a good way. You know, but I love it because it means that my intentions are powerful, because I actually really want people to heal. Right? So so the self-care daily is really basic. You cleanse with the soap. You never leave the soap on for hours. I see people leave soap on and go to sleep. That's damaging to the skin. Make sure that you're going to wash it off after. If you want to leave it on for a little while, you would cleanse first, wash that off, wash off all the dirt and whatever makeup from your day, and then you put on the soap again. You leave it for a couple minutes, and then you rinse that off and you apply the oil, and you always massage your skin. So this is just another bottle. So I have 3 sizes in my oils. This is my 1 ounce. This is new. This is my 2 ounce, and then I have a 4 ounce, which I was out of, so I couldn't bring that size.
That's what happens when she's in demand, folks.
Yes.
Vinel, I must ask you, there are so many persons in the beauty business.
Absolutely.
What sets Winel and Pure Niceness apart from the rest?
Energy. Energy is everything. That's one thing that cannot be copied. Intention also. And that energy that you have intensifies everything that you do. And so for me, that is what is different. Pure Niceness, the name alone is already captivating. My energy is that, you know, I move around with love. Those who know me, I don't know how to be anywhere else.
I've known Winnie over the years, and there's just something about her when you see her in public. Yes, something that comes over you, and I want to commend you for that. It's not just beauty, it's just something about your aura, your presence, just wanting to be within your presence.
Thank you.
Definitely energy.
Yes.
When she steps on studio, there's just something about her energy just lights up the entire studio.
Even I remember walking behind you one time when you had the big locks and you were all dressed up and wrapped up, and the vibe was pure. It was definitely, and I was like, wow. And she looked so peaceful. And I'm like,
thank you.
Wanted to touch a hem of her gown. I said myself.
So Winnie, share with the folks that are watching, how can they get in touch with you to get their hands on these as soon as possible?
Niceness. Okay, everyone.
I like that.
So my number is 762-6423. Pure Niceness is sold at a variety of locations. If you're in Nevis, you can get them at the Four Seasons Hotel Boutique. They're also available at the Olive Tree Boutique. And then Orlicia Tyson also sells them. So once you message me, then I'll be able to pass on Orlicia's number in Nevis. And in St. Kitts, it's available at Kiwi Dan Boutique, located on Baker's Corner, and All Affordable Boutique, located on Central Street. And I have one more location that I'm working on.
I just saw that your products were added to, should I say a new spa?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So
yes, the Park Hyatt, actually, yes, the spa at the Park Hyatt, they just, thank you so much. Yeah, and they love it. It's actually I think it's their 3rd order, but I really wanted to get feedback. For me, feedback is how I make sure that I'm doing the right things and that the energy stays high. So I wanted to know how were guests loving it, because most of the locations, besides Four Seasons, is local.
Yes.
But once you get into the spas, then you're talking about tourists or people who are coming in. So to know that they love it too, it's amazing.
How far in the world has Pure Niceness reached?
Yes. Dubai.
Wow. Wow.
Dubai. Yes, it was amazing, and it sold out, and they requested more. Yes, but like I said, I don't do massive batches, and so I just, for me, it's not all about the money. I'm not trying to make this load of money. I'm really trying to make a load of impact and help people. Yeah, because once I start to do that, things change when you start to mass product.
Of course.
Yes.
I know there are advantages and disadvantages when you come on to business.
Yes.
How difficult it is to find your ingredients right here in St. Kitts.
Well, I grow some of the stuff.
Nice.
Yes. So some of the things that I grow, if I don't grow it, I find it with someone else. And then I actually have my suppliers. So this is, I think, and I'm not good with numbers. I don't pay attention to numbers, but I think this is my 5th year of Pure Niceness. It doesn't even matter. Too much to me. I think. But for me, that doesn't matter. Like, I don't look at time and age, and those things are just fleeting. So,
listen, I'm going to stop you right there. 5 years. You know how many business go out in what?
A year or a few months.
And you're going into 5 months. High five.
Thank you.
5 years.
Thank you.
Another 5 years.
Yeah, and
Many more 5 years.
Yes, we're going to add to that. But during the pandemic, the business actually heightened because then it made people start to take care of themselves, right? So people became more aware, and they had more time, right? So that is when I really was able to get to people.
I'm happy to hear that you're one of the business persons that excelled during the pandemic, because everybody that we spoke to had hit a little bump in the road because of it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Listen, you
Thank you.
the energy.
Thank you so much.
Winnell, that's your camera right there. Share with the folks watching how important it is for self-care.
Yes.
My people, if you love yourself, which everyone must, if you love others, it means that you have to start with yourself. And part of loving yourself means that you must care for yourself, okay? Now, Pure Niceness and other brands, we cater to helping you to do that. But outside of products for your skin and your hair, you have to also tap into the things that you eat. So pay attention to what you eat, pay attention to what you think, pay attention to what you're looking at, to what you're listening to how you treat others, because it's an attraction. The energy we give is what we're going to get back. So just be very mindful. Take time for yourself. If you want to, heighten that energy within yourself, love yourself more, and do that with your practice. Not just say it, but really get into the things that will help you to elevate holistically, mind, body, and spirit. I love you guys. Y'all know that. Now it's time to test.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the lemongrass oil. Okay. Lemongrass with coconut. And that, tell me how it makes you feel when you smell it.
My gosh, I'm rubbing it and I can smell it already off. When I hug Winnell, I'm like, you smell lovely. Listen, she smelled like a whole sponsor. Oh my God. Can somebody get on?
It makes me want to climb the wall.
I love it.
Ooh,
okay.
Nice. I'm ready for the next one.
This is the moringa.
Now she's taking me to the spa.
There's so much benefits from the moringa bush.
Oh my gosh. I am not even pretending, guys. This is... Jesus. I love scents. I love
this.
Let me tell you, great scents. And these are excellent. Thank you.
And this is the best I've smelled the moringa bush. Yes.
Because it doesn't...
You managed to derive everything from the moringa.
She pulled it all, right?
Yes.
Man, the coconut oil in the moringa.
Yes.
Niceness.
Oh, I can... Niceness. Indeed. Comes over your body.
Niceness.
Oh my gosh. We should meditate sometime together so I can really get my scent and get some niceness in me.
Oh, but guess what? I have a gift for y'all. So you're going to get the lemongrass and you're going to get the moringa.
Thank you.
Too easy.
Oh, too easy.
Moringa mixed with peppermint.
Yes.
Yes, I'm smelling it.
Yes.
So Andre, I'm going to smell it tomorrow, right?
Definitely. Definitely.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Oh my God.
Neil,
Thank
this is
you.
awesome.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much. Oh,
Cheers.
yay.
Listen, this is the second guest that we've been trying to get forever. I'm gonna put it out there. And like Chef Brown yesterday, she has delivered. Yo, look at my skin. She has delivered.
Yes, she
I
has.
enjoyed this segment.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it. Thank
Such
you
a
so
natural.
much.
Thank you.
They're right.
And
Good things
this is
really
my
come to
first
those who
interview in
wait.
years.
And we're glad it is with us.
And you're the
Well, you definitely will be back
Yes,
on
yes.
Good Morning SKN.
Awesome.
Well, Winnie, guess what? You're going to help us close out this morning's show.
Nice.
Yes, so just follow us.
Did you pick up the song?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
no problem.
she
Okay.
have. So
Okay.
thank you for joining us today, folks. Tune in daily where you will find a little bit of everything for everyone. Get your friends and families to watch. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube at Studio 327 Inc. and on Instagram at Good Morning SKN. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, and share. Also check out our website at studio327inc.com to learn more about Good Morning SKN and Studio 327.
And folks, leave us a comment and let us know what was your favorite part of today's show. And as I usually say, thank you to all of our guests for taking time out of their busy schedule and sharing with us this morning here on Good Morning SKN. So see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. when you'll wake up bright and early to start our Friday show with us right here at Good Morning SKN. The song?
It's that time. So long.
Farewell
To you, my friends. Good night
for now. Until we meet again.
You got it. There you go.
Aw. Thank you for watching,
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bless.